But after such hit films as Daisy Kenyon, Where the Sidewalk Ends, and Whirlpool, in 1952, Otto became the first independent producer as we know them today. He could not have picked a better time to make the move. The studio's power began to weaken, and television was crippling theatrical audiences. Preminger decided to film a play he'd produced, called The Moon is Blue. It was a frothy comedy about a virtuous young woman pursued by two lecherous male friends, and it starred David Niven, William Holden, and Maggie McNamara.
Are you one of those dedicated, intense girls who simply must be an actress?
No, I don't think so. I'd just as soon get married, I think. Who am I kidding? I'm just dying to get married. It's not going to be easy, though, because I'm choosy. The kind of men I want don't grow on trees.
Do they prowl the lobby of the Empire State Building picking up girls?
Don't worry. You're not the type I'm looking for at all.
No?
No. You look full-on and kind of helpless trying to fix your silly old button. I did want to talk to you, but you're much too young. Have you ever been married?
No.
When I get married, I want a nice middle-aged man with gobs of dough. Preferably one who's been married before and had a simply lousy time. Can I have 5 kids for all I care?
It doesn't sound very romantic.
Oh, pooh, romance is for Bobby Soxes. I'd much rather have a man appreciate me than drool over me.
Do you think I have a tendency to drool?
Yes. I think you're probably quite demonstrative. But I think that's swell. I'm very affectionate myself.
Show me.
Was Cynthia affectionate?
You ask too many questions. Come on.
Well, I was counsel to the Motion Picture Association, called the Hayes Office at that time. And they had a very strict code. People like the old scorer, Spiro Skouras, and others felt that it was the duty of the motion picture industry not to have any pornographic or obscene words or scenes. They were very strict. The shadow of a woman's dress at her chest must not be there, and so on. It was exceedingly moral, quote, moral. And Otto had made a picture called The Moon is Blue, and in it, he had the word virgin. I think that was you could imagine that being offensive in today's standard, but it was then that you said virgin, you implied everything. And so the Motion Picture Association, which had to pass every picture or make corrections of things that might be offensive, turned it down because of the word virgin. And of course, if they turned down the picture, no theater would play it, because then the public would know they're violating the code.
The finished film was refused a certificate and was cited for its, quote, unacceptably light attitude towards seduction, illicit sex, chastity, and virginity. Well, Otto couldn't understand that. Here was a play that had enjoyed a nationwide run without a breath of scandal, and now it could not be shown in a movie theater. Remembering how Fox had caved in over Forever Amber, Otto decided to stand by his work without any changes. United Artists stood by Preminger. They decided to appeal the decision to the Board of Motion Pictures Association, but again, it was thumbs down. Next, they decided to screen the film for critics and theater owners in order to get the word out that this was a tempest in a teapot. A few theater owners decided they'd had enough of the code's outmoded restrictions, and they booked the film. Others followed suit. Now the Catholic Legion of Decency got into the fray, rating the film C for condemned. It forbid all practicing members of the church from seeing it under penalty of sin. Catholic groups began picketing theaters. But Otto and United Artists held firm and more theaters booked the film without the seal. Reviewers found the film refreshing and inoffensive. The controversy did wonders for the box office.
You know, for what I learned on that trip, my psychiatrist would charge me at least 25 bucks.
I'm so glad you don't mind.
Mind what?
Well, men are usually so bored with virgins. I'm so glad you're not.
Otto Preminger was one of the foremost producers who made the challenge each time, because he really wasn't pornographic, but he portrayed life, and then sometimes in those scenes there were scenes that had not been seen before. Even a long kiss, if it's beyond a few seconds, was a violation. And to have the word virgin block a film was particularly offensive to those who were arguing free speech.
If Cynthia came down now and cried over you little and fussed over your eye a bit,
Let's
I
not
bet you
talk
two
about
would
Cynthia.
Well, she called me a professional virgin. That's what I came back to talk about. Not Cynthia, don't worry, only what she said.
It was a rather unfortunate phrase, and I was mad.
May I ask, why does Cynthia object to virgins?
Look, nobody in their right mind could seriously object to being called a virgin.
Okay, but it's this professional that makes me mad. I'd like to have that explained.
It's not necessary to advertise it. That's really all the phrase means.
What's wrong with advertising?
People who advertise are anxious to sell something.
I see what you mean.
Otto was a leader in a very decent way for the freeing of artworks from the old restraints and restrictions. And he has not been given enough credit for that. He put up a fight each time. He didn't take it, and he was pure enough in his fight so as not to be a pornographer who wanted to get a license. There were such too, but he was not. He was really making wonderful pictures. The sex scenes were incidental and not too aggressive at all, not too offensive. But in those days, you had to make a fight for free speech to get those scenes in. So that was the development in the motion picture industry, for which much is owed to Otto Preminger.
In retrospect, The Moon is Blue was an innocent, almost innocuous film. Its success revealed significant cracks in the old Hollywood system. A filmmaker could break away from the studios and make a successful picture. The production code needed updating. In this film, Otto was innovative. He filmed a German version, Die Jungfrau auf dem Dach, at the same time as he filmed the English one. Hardy Kruger and Johanna Matz were the German stars.
For us, it was a little bit hard. For me, not. I was a very young girl, but for the elder ones. When the couple, David Niven and Maggie McNamara, goes out of the sets, we go in and had to do the same. And Otto was a little bit nervous. We make this comedy in 3 weeks and 2 weeks to rehearse. It was a very quick and disciplined work, and for some it was hard work, because always do the same like David Niven does, and I like Maggie Mac does, but she make it really very nice, so I liked it to do. But you see, not everybody likes this kind of working. I liked it because it was very modern, very quick, very simple. He says what he wants and we does it. So, I mean, only one thing was hard. In German, you need more words than in English. And so sometimes there were little complications. Sometimes he was a little bit loud, but in German they are also. So, I mean, I liked it wonderfully. I like to have temperament, and he has it, so what? But it was so clean and disciplined.
Ich rede sehr viel, aber jetzt
kann nichts sagen als Dankeschön. Das klingt furchtbar dumm.
I never ate, I had never had tasted, because we had the second war and so, no? Olives. And I had a whole scene to eat olives. And it was horrible. I didn't know how I came through this scene with these olives. But Otto made a joke and I liked it.
The controversy over The Moon is Blue brought Otto fame. Fame in those days was rare for a film director. The public had a new image of Otto Preminger as an outspoken, fearless filmmaker willing to take on Hollywood censors and the Catholic Church.